You've tuned into another edition of The Break Room, a weekly conversation about how the City of St. Augustine works from those who do the work every day. Hosted by the City of St. Augustine's Communications Director, Melissa Whistle, The Break Room offers a closer look at the different city departments and provides updates on current and upcoming projects and events. And now, your host, Melissa Whistle.
Hello, and thanks for tuning in. You're listening to The Break Room. I'm Melissa Whistle, Communications Director for the City of St. Augustine. This week, we have the pleasure of talking with Kelly Wilson, Deputy Director of St. Johns County Emergency Management. Kelly is no stranger to The Break Room. Welcome back.
It's a pleasure to be back with you, Melissa.
We have had some challenging years recently in emergency management.
We have. It's been a busy couple years.
And I'm going to knock on wood and say we have not had a hurricane in a year.
We have. Yes, I want everybody listening to knock on wood. We haven't had any hurricanes come our way.
Not to say that we haven't had some weather events. We'll come back to the weather events. Mm-hmm. What I want to really talk about first with you is COVID.
Okay.
It's a topic that we're not seeing go away anytime soon. Give us an update. Where did we start? Where did we come from? Where are we headed?
So it's one of those things that we start, and people feel like we've been doing it forever, and they're kind of not wrong.
Right.
The EOC became involved in the COVID-19 pandemic about March of 2020. We're approaching March of 2022. Mm-hmm. So we're approaching the 2-year mark, and as everybody knows, it's changed, it's evolved. Mm-hmm. The operations, we went from testing to vaccines to testing to... It's been quite a ride.
It has. And you mentioned we started with testing.
Yes.
And of course, if anybody really wants to think back, what this looked like when it first started was, man, we shut down. We went into lockdown.
Yes.
No festivals, no events, no nothing, no parades. We're bringing back parades and events this year, thankfully. But we did testing at Flagler Hospital, if anybody wants to think back that far.
Yes. So that was the first testing site. It was a partnership between St. Johns County and Flagler Hospital. And Flagler Hospital, as well as St. Johns County Fire Rescue, staffed that testing site, and that was the drive-through site. And you'll have to go way, way back. We still receive phone calls about it. That testing site closed on December of 2020.
Okay, so no more testing sites, no drive-through at the hospital.
We have no drive-through at Flagler Hospital.
No emergency room for testing either.
No emergency room. And that's a message we would like to share today is if you need a COVID test, we have an option for you. You can come to the Wind Mitigation Building at 3111 Agricultural Center Drive. Don't go to the emergency room because you need a COVID test. Right. The emergency room is for you have an emergent condition that needs to be treated.
Right.
They're very, very busy right now. So let's try to keep the COVID testing out of that facility. Come to our wind mitigation site rather than...
Plus, you don't want to be infecting people if you are sick.
Absolutely not. Those folks that are sitting in an emergency room somewhere, they have something, the reason they're there. If you have COVID, we certainly don't want to walk in an emergency room with that.
So if I come out to the Wind Mitigation Center and just generally speaking, if I head to the outlets and head left.
Yes. So you would go like you're going to the outlet malls if you're coming from the city. So you would come underneath the interstate and you make a left onto County Road 208. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as you turn onto 208, you'll make a left next to that Hampton Inn on Agricultural Center Drive. You follow that road down and you'll go around a couple turns and you'll see a roadside sign that tells you where the COVID testing is at the Wind Mitigation Building.
And there's people there every day.
We are there. It's a partnership with Nomi Health. They are open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we'll, if you see a line, so a couple tips for everybody going to get a test. They are doing a phenomenal job there. They are averaging over 1,200 tests a day at that site.
Oh, wow.
So it's incredible. But if you show up and you see a line, don't get discouraged. That line, we've actually gone out and tested the speed of that line. We tested the speed of the line with 30 people in line. We picked the last person. They made it through that line in 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they move very, very quickly. They're wonderful people. You don't need an appointment.
Okay.
You could pre-register for it at Nomi Health and then pick the St. John's site, or Even if you don't pre-register, you can show up on site and they will show you a QR code. You can use your cell phone, take a picture, and you register right there. And the testing is free.
And this is rapid test, PCR?
You have an option of either a rapid test or a PCR. The rapid test, you will get that within an hour. The PCR test, you're looking, it depends on, the labs are very busy right now. It's probably going to be 2 to 3 days before you receive that PCR test. We do tell people with the rapid test, rapid tests seem to be the most effective when you have symptoms. Okay, so that seems to be when they're the most effective.
We're not, just so folks know too, the city did do a testing site. We're no longer having that testing site downtown. Wind Mitigation Building is really the best place to go. You can still get tests at CVS, Walgreens,
yes,
urgent care.
Any of the urgent cares. Most of those places are their appointments. You can go onto their website and they're making appointments for their tests. So that is an additional option that you have for getting a test.
Right. But I'm going to, if I can get out there to the Wind Mitigation Center, get out there 7 o'clock in the morning, get my test, and don't go to work if you're not feeling well.
Yes. If everybody picks up a single message here, if you don't feel well, don't go to work. Don't go to, a party. Right. Don't go to a big gathering of people, because whether it's COVID or it's the flu or it's simply a cold,
right.
We don't want to spread those germs no matter what it is to our coworkers, our friends, our families, anything like that.
There almost seems to be this well, it's not COVID, so I'm fine.
Yeah.
But you still have a cold.
Right.
You still might have a slight fever or some type of flu that's not COVID, but you're still not well.
Absolutely. And, it's funny to think about because we've been so focused on COVID for 2 years. Let's go to the way back of 2019. Mm-hmm. And, your coworkers didn't want you coming in if you had the flu either, because you were terribly sick with that as well.
Right.
So let's just try and stay home if we can.
Stay home if you're not feeling well,
yes.
But there's a place to go get that COVID test. If you are just now tuning in, you're listening to The Break Room. I'm Melissa Whistle, Communications Director for the City of St. Augustine, talking with Kelly Wilson. She is the Deputy Director of St. Johns County Emergency Management. One last thing before we switch off of COVID for a second.
Okay.
We didn't mention we're about to have a rollout from the federal government of the free at-home COVID tests. Let's remind folks about that.
Absolutely. That started yesterday, and this is a federal program. You may have seen it on the news and from the White House. It is covidtests.gov. And it is the simplest form. We all gave it a go. You go to that website, you click Get My Free COVID Test, you click it, you enter your name, your address, and an email. And no credit card, no nothing. And you hit Get My Test, you will receive 4 at-home COVID tests per household. Our understanding is they will begin shipping in late January, and they will come to your house you will notice the website will take you over to the United States Postal Service website.
Okay.
And it is the simplest form you'll ever fill out for the government.
Yep. It's not my tax return.
That's right. It's not your taxes.
And it's COVID tests, multiple.
Yes.
TESTS, covidtests.gov.
Okay. Correct.
So in other news with emergency management, What do you guys have going on? Give us the latest and greatest, or even just help us remind our residents, our listeners, emergency management, you guys don't rest.
We don't. While we have been busy with COVID for, 2 years now, we also, we're always looking at our hurricane plans, any sort of flooding, wildfires. We move into a bit of a wildfire season in the spring. Mm-hmm. We will move back into hurricane season come June. And, the past couple of years, we always seem to get a named storm in May.
Right.
So we have to stay aware of that. Make sure, we've had a lot of new folks move into our community. Make sure they're aware. You can go to our website, St. Johns County Emergencymanagement.com, and find out if you're in an evacuation zone. One of the best spots is we have something called Know Your Zone. You can click that link and enter your St. Johns County address, and it'll tell you if you're in an evacuation zone. So we make sure, let's keep those plans up to date, and it's always coming back around.
Well, and you make a good point. New residents.
Yes.
We have a lot of new folks in the county, folks that are coming from snowstorm areas or tornado areas. Of course, we've seen some tornadoes in South Florida, but we really want folks to get out onto that county website, St. Johns County Emergency Management. And register for Alert St. John's. Tell me about Alert St. John's. I think it's really important, not only for our seasoned residents, if you're not registered, the new residents, but tell us about that.
Alert St. John's is a fantastic program that we have. You can, like I said, you can go, Melissa said, you can go to St. Johns County Emergency Management. You can also get the link from the Sheriff's Office website, the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office website, and you will see a big icon that says Alert St. John's. What this program is it is how we will alert you in an emergency. You enter your information, your address, because sometimes the emergency may be in a single area, like an evacuation zone. So we can alert everybody, or we can alert a smaller population if we need to. Could be for a missing person, could be for a boil water advisory, could be a flood warning. We will be able to contact you. And the great part about this program is you get to choose how you're contacted. You enter, like I said, your name and your address, but if you would only like it via email, then you just pick emails. If you want to get it via text message, email, and a phone call, you can do all of those things. If you would like it at your business, register your business and put your business lines. We will alert you in any way that you would like to be alerted. You also have a way. Now, I will tell you, the public safety alerts do not have a quiet time.
Okay.
But you have the ability to also register for any sort of automatic weather alerts. These are things like tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, a tornado, a hurricane warning, tropical storm, any of those types of. There is a lot of options.
Great.
You can actually set those options for a quiet time. So if your quiet time is 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. that you don't want to be alerted, you can set that. What I do tell people is be careful which alert you picked, because I will tell you things like a coastal flood advisory. Those advisories.
I don't mean to laugh, but
yes,
we get those rather often.
We get those rather often. Now, a warning means it's happening and you need to take immediate action. An advisory says something's happening. It's not, you need to keep an eye out for it.
Okay.
Many times those advisories, including watches, they may be issued at 2 o'clock in the morning because that's just when the issue comes back up.
Right.
Now, I will tell you this, if it is a warning, in Kelly's opinion, a warning means immediate action, a severe thunderstorm warning, a tornado warning. Those are something you need to take immediate action right now for. I would not quiet those.
Okay. Alert St. John's.
Alert St. John's.
And you can sign up for it. You could even sign up family members who might not know about it or who not necessarily computer savvy.
Yes.
So if you have parents, elder family members that may or may not be inclined to get on and do that, you could set that for them, and then they're going to get those alerts.
Absolutely. And it is the fastest way that we will be able to notify you of an emergency situation.
The city also has a Nixle, and the Nixle for the city is St. Aug Alerts, and you're going to text St. Aug Alerts to the number 888-777. And that's specific for, as you mentioned, emergency notifications, strictly for city residents. But we really do have some great resources out there. Kelly, we are out of time. Great information. St. Johns County Emergency Management on the web. And make sure you're registering for those St. Aug Alerts. And our last plug, stay home if you're not feeling well.
That's right. If you're not feeling well, stay home.
And go to the Agricultural Center to get your test.
Yeah, the
wind mitigation,
Wind mitigation building. It is right next to the Agriculture Center. But
on Agricultural Center Drive.
That's right. And you can get tests 7 days a week.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
As we wrap up another edition of The Break Room, I hope we answered your questions. Send us an email if we didn't. You can send that email to info@citysainaug.com. You can follow us on all of our social media platforms. You'll find us at City St. Aug. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can visit us on the web for this broadcast and any of our past broadcasts at citysainaugradio.com. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.
You've been listening to The Break Room, a weekly program addressing projects and programs offered by the City of St. Augustine. Join us each week as the city's communications director, Melissa Wissel, has in-depth conversations with the people who make our town work to meet the needs of our community. The Break Room is produced by communications specialist for the City of St. Augustine, Cindy Walker. See you at this time next week for another edition of The Break Room.